From hardships of Ukraine and Moldova, from broken bodies, shattered glass, and whispered prayers of grief in Russia, Ukraine, and Germany, from centuries of pogroms, massacres, extermination, anti-Semitism, and Holocaust, emerged minds that would change the world. Jews, despite centuries of persecution, rose to extraordinary heights in science, music, and philosophy. They carried with them not only the scars of history, but also an unbreakable spirit and a relentless pursuit of excellence. The story of Jewish people is not one of victimhood, but of victory. Not through weapons, but through wisdom, not through conquests, but through creations. They have illuminated humanity's path, proving that even in the darkest times, the light of knowledge and brilliance endures. Let's name some of these brilliant people one more time. Outstanding philosophers and poets, from Moses Maimonides, Morocco, Egypt, to Baruch de Spinoza, Dutch, to Moses Mendelssohn, Germany, to Heinrich Heine, Germany, to Franz Kafka, Czech, to Martin Buber, Germany. Profound writers from Marcel Proust, France, to S.Y. Agnon, Israel, to Boris Pasternak, Russia, to Saul Bellow, Israel, to Isaac Bashevis Singer, United States, to Joseph Brodsky, Russia, and Bob Dylan and Leonard Cohen, United States. Extraordinary scientists, from Albert Einstein to Niels Bohr, to Emmy Noether, to Edward Teller, Leo Szilard, to Robert Oppenheimer and Richard Feynman. Renowned psychologists, researchers, and physicians, from Sigmund Freud to Jonas Salk, to Paul Ehrlich, to Rosalind Franklin. Astonishing artists, from Amadeo Modigliani to Camille Pissarro, to Frida Kahlo, to Mark Rothko, to Marc Chagall. Celebrated composers, from Felix Mendelssohn to Gustav Mahler, to George Gershwin to Leonard Bernstein. Piano prodigies and performers, from Yefim Bronfman to Emil Gilels, to Arthur Rubinstein, to Vladimir Horowitz, to Menachem Pressler, to Daniel Barenboim, to Martha Argerich, to Evgeny Kissin. Violin geniuses, from Yasha Heifetz to Yehudi Menuhin, to Isaac Stern, to David Oistrakh, to Itzhak Perlman, to Maxim Vengerov and Joshua Bell. Celebrated musicians, from Berry sisters to Neil Diamond, to Lenny Kravitz, to Paul Simon, to Vladimir Vysotsky, who is often called the Russian Bob Dylan, to Bob Dylan, to Leonard Cohen. Eminent actors, directors, and movie personalities, from Sarah Bernhardt to Barbara Streisand, to Stanley Kubrick, to Woody Allen, to Roman Polanski and Steven Spielberg. Renowned fashion designers, from Levi Strauss to Calvin Klein to Ralph Lauren. Famous financiers and bankers, from Samuel Oppenheimer to Mayer Rothschild, to Marcus Goldman, to Alan Greenspan. Renowned politicians and statesmen, from Benjamin Disraeli, England, to Yakov Sverdlov, Russia, to Alexandre Millerand, France, to David Ben-Gurion, Golda Meir, and Shimon Peres, Israel, to Henry Kissinger, United States, to Angela Merkel, Germany, to Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine, to Claudia Sheinbaum, Mexico. From being insulted and oppressed to achieving extraordinary heights in physics, mathematics, medicine, music, psychology, literature, politics. Be kind to these people. For everything Jewish people have accomplished over the centuries in their contribution to the world, what they often ask is not a praise, and display of gratitude, but just to be left alone. There has been so much hateful anti-Semitism for many centuries, from the cultural isolation, educational restrictions, frank to-the-face hate and scornful mocking, to physical extermination through the pogroms and Holocaust. The Jews often want to be just left unnoticed, without a particular display of any appreciation. Admirations and celebrations of Jewish contribution to the world and Jewish brilliance are a bonus and is highly appreciated by Jewish people, but not specifically asked for. Leonard Cohen brilliantly expressed this generational fear and personal fragility and often surrender of Jewish people in his spiritual, deeply moving and introspective song, "If it be your will that I speak no more, and my voice be still as it was before, I will speak no more. I shall abide until I am spoken for, if it be your will." Remembrance. Can you imagine that 6 million Jewish people who perished in the Holocaust in the World War II would have been saved, would have survived? We would have today not 16 million, but possibly 30 million Jewish people on earth. We would have so many brilliant Jewish physicists and physicians, musicians and economists, psychologists and writers, contributing to the world with their intellect and immense human capacity for creativity. If all the perished beautiful people survived, and their many ancestors continue the tradition of excellence started centuries ago by Jewish sages, the world would have been a better and safer place. Be kind to these people. Jewish legacy. Salman Rushdie wrote, "The past is a country from which we have all emigrated. That its loss is a part of our common humanity. We all have a past that influences our present. Our histories and origins shape our identities and experiences. Both Jewish struggle and genius have had an immense positive influence on the world, more than we can all imagine. The deep cultural legacy that Jews inherited from their ancestors and brought on their shoulders into the present shaped our intertwined modern world and became part of its blended cultural reality. From Albert Einstein to Leonard Cohen, from astonishing physical laws of the universe that transcend time, to metaphysical commandments of heaven expressed in haunting melodies, Jewish people created this formula of excellence, the formula that keeps them safe and that they carry from generation to generation. This formula is about the priesthood of chosen people with a mission to teach, to share, to preserve, to abide, to follow, and to carry the torch. Without presence and contribution of Jewish people, our world would be entirely different place. Leonard Cohen, one of the best modern Jewish poet-philosophers, a melancholic, creative and radiant songwriter genius, a true Kohanim from a Hebrew word for a priest, a Jewish saint longing for truth in everything, who taught us that the darkness is the prelude to light, touchingly wrote, "I wish there was a treaty we could sign. I do not care who takes this bloody hill. I am angry and I am tired all the time. I wish there was a treaty between your love and mine." In his song Anthem, he added tender and bitterly optimistic lines summarizing all the human suffering and expressing hopes for peace with tears of joy, holy tears. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Thank you.